Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to this morning's webinar on repairs and maintenance in 2024, a director's perspective. My name's Jessica Dubey, and I'm the product training manager here at Fixflo. And today we are joined by Ben Parks, who's the regional director of property management at Stirling Ackroyd. Hi, Ben. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Morning, Jess. Morning, everyone. Thank you for inviting me on. It's a great opportunity to speak with you all today. Looking forward to it.
Brilliant. Thank you. So just to let everybody know, this webinar is of course being recorded and it will last for about half an hour. We are going to send everybody a recording of today's webinar by the end of play tomorrow. So please do keep your eyes peeled for that email, which will have the recording in case you want to re-watch any sections at all. Just to let you know, there is a small disclaimer here. So all content presented in this webinar is intended for general information purposes only and should not be considered as legal advice or official guidance. So just to let you all know that. So I'm just going to go through the agenda. We have only got half an hour, so I am keen to press on. Just to let you know as well, any questions at all that come to your head as we're going through the webinar, we'd be so happy to answer them at the end of the webinar. There is a Q&A button available on your Zoom link, so please do click there. Whether it's for myself regarding Fixflo or if it's for Ben, please do let us know and we will go through those at the end to keep us fully on track today. There will also be a chance to fill out a feedback survey when you do leave this webinar. We'd really ask for some honest feedback as we do want to know from you what worked well, what could make it better. Honest feedback is always really appreciated and it's absolutely invaluable as well. So thank you so much. So the agenda. So I'm sure you guys have seen the report that was released from Fixflo on the 25th of January. So only a couple of weeks ago. And it's all to do with kind of repairs and maintenance, what's going on across the UK. And we're going to be focusing on two main topics from this report that came out. If you haven't read it yet or you haven't had a chance to flick through it, don't worry because we will send it to you by the end of play tomorrow along with this recording. So if you haven't had a chance, you will get that chance to read it. It's a really interesting report. Here at Fixflo, we're very, very proud of it. And two of the main kind of topics here are around boosting your service levels with faster fix times, which we're going to be speaking to Ben about in just a moment. And then we're going to move on to increasing efficiency by empowering your tenants to self-resolve issues. That can honestly make such a big difference. And then, as I mentioned before, then we will be going through the live Q&A. So please, please, I do encourage questions. You can ask anonymously as well. We would absolutely love to hear from you this morning. So let's focus on the first topic. Ben, I do have a few questions for you. So here we're going to be talking about boosting your service levels with faster fix times. So on Fixflo, something you can track, just to give a quick introduction to this, is your first time to action on an issue. So when an issue gets reported by an occupier, how quickly does an agent move to action that, whether it's instructing works to a contractor, requesting quotes, perhaps going to the landlord for advice, anything like that. And we also track your resolution time as well. All of this can be tracked on the Insights dashboard, which is available to all customers on the Essentials, Professional and the Manager package. But these things are brilliant to track because it gives you an idea of how your service levels are going. So this was all mentioned as well in the report that went out. And Stirling Ackroyd's resolution time is actually less than a national average, which is amazing. So Ben, please can I ask what you're doing to facilitate this?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So first, it's obviously good to hear we've got a positive resolution time. I think there's probably a number of things which we obviously focus on and try to do. First, most important one obviously is nothing's possible without having good staff, and I think property managers that we employ a very strong group currently, which we're fortunate to work with, and they certainly do help us. One of the big things which we've certainly found over the last 15, 18 months has been the use of tech, and Fixflo's really been at the forefront of that for us with things like the use of the automation and the reporting tools. That's helped us to triage the issues as they're reported and gives us a lot of information that we simply didn't have before. So we can get photos, make a model of information, location information, access information that the tenant provides to us when first engaging with the Fixflo system. And then we get a report, a PDF report, which details that all for us. This has made a big impact on saving time for for the property managers and helps them work quicker to take that action. And as part of working with Fixflo and using particularly their reporting system, we've seen a big difference in how we can kind of track data. Around 15 months or so ago, we kind of redesigned how we collect and utilize our data. And one of the reasons for that was because integrating with Fixflo and seeing the access to the information that they've got and the data that they can provide to us helped us with visibility massively. So we kind of track the response times, the average time to close, issues that are outstanding, as well as many other data points. And we use that daily, weekly, and monthly across our teams and with the individual PMs. Just gives us a real insight into making sure that we're putting our resources in the right area and providing the support where we need to. As I said, prior to using that, we were really limited by what we could be aware of. Through experience, you kind of know what people are telling you, but because you can match the data to that, that really helps us making sure that we can get that faster fix time. And I will also add that it definitely has helped us better support our people and our property managers, because if we can see there's a high volume, we know that there may be something with that portfolio. We've got to provide them that support. We may have heard it from them before, but seeing it in data just makes it a lot more real. So that's been a big help.
That sounds excellent. Thank you so much, Ben. Excellent. So in terms of one part of the report we looked at as well was kind of contractor shortages and actually being able to get contractors. So for any agents who are listening right now who are having difficulties to find contractors, what advice would you give them for finding contractors and also building those relationships?
I think this is a problem throughout the industry, I guess, at certain times of years. Having reliable contractors for everybody, I think, is so important, as they're often the ones that interact face to face with the tenants of the properties. They're our kind of eyes and ears. And they can certainly help us to enhance our reputation or hamper it if we happen to go in the reverse, which we try to avoid. I think there's a few important things to kind of consider for us. Paying contractors is really important, and paying them promptly is very important. We do payment runs every day now. It used to be 3 times a week, and where possible we try to ensure we've got funds on account before authorizing the works. Not always easy to do, particularly if rents obviously are paid in advance, so 6 months in advance, but we do try where we can to do that. We try to work closely with the ones that we've got and build good relationships with them, so the higher volume of repairs they get, the more it allows those businesses to grow. We meet with the medium and larger contractors every 3 to 6 months, which is very important for us to kind of give that feedback directly, but also get feedback from them. It's a two-way relationship, and we rely on them quite a lot, as much as they rely on us to grow their businesses. I know, because we do the same, that I'm sure people find it really difficult to kind of source contractors. Certainly roofers, locksmiths can be very difficult. We also do have the issues around seasonality, I think. Obviously the summer periods, pre-tenancy issues, cleans, inventories, the winter for plumbing, boiling can be difficult. There's always the pressure around the urgent reactive jobs, which can be problematic because people want to report an issue and they want someone around within 5 minutes, which isn't necessarily always possible. But we try where possible to preempt what we think we may get to in a busy period. So obviously we know we're going to get a higher volume in the summer, so we try maybe 3 months before that to engage with contractors which we are working with to see what their capacity is like, see if they can potentially expand. If they can't, we'll look at seeing if we can bring others on, provide an opportunity to share the workload, and meeting them prior to them coming onto the books, and of course making sure they've got the relevant accreditations is a big help as well.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Some amazing tips there. So regarding resolution times, obviously that's something that Fixflo tracks. It's something that is good for agents to track if possible. If you are aware that the resolution time is going to take longer than expected, how do you manage the expectations for both the tenant and also the landlord on that?
Good question. I think the expectation management for us is absolutely critical for both the landlord and the tenant. So for the landlord, the expectation management is around cost usually, and for tenants, it's likely to be for the time of fix. Obviously, they're the ones at the coalface experiencing the issue, so they want that issue fixed as quickly as possible. Sometimes that's not possible, so we like to explain as best we can what the worst case scenario might look like for a tenant before it actually happens. It's always easy to kind of preemptively talk about something they may experience rather than doing it at the time. So damp and mold issues, for example, they tend to take weeks, if not months. So they're not quick fixes. if you have issues with heating systems, for example, if there's block management, getting parts and people out can take a bit of time. So I think it's really about bringing the tenants on that journey of understanding that we're going to do what we can. Communication is our most effective tool. We've got to try and be transparent and as honest as we can do, but accepting that sometimes we're telling them things that they don't want to hear. But I think if we give them the confidence that we can assist with their issue and then explain to them what that process is going to be, I think that helps. I think also making sure that we don't minimize the issue or overpromise how quickly it can be fixed. It can be quite hard to deal with, say, 15 or 20 issues at once and think, oh, I've got those same issues, but actually for that tenant, it's that one issue they're experiencing. So we have to show and demonstrate that empathy and build that confidence and credibility with the landlord, particularly if it's regarding price. A lot of landlords price conscious, calling a landlord out of the blue and telling them that it's going to be £1,000 they've got to add to their budget is something we're obviously doing on a regular basis. But for them, that could be the one call we've had for 6 months. So we've got to understand the impact that has. Also, they care about the quality of work, as do the tenants. We want to make sure that's accurate and reflective. And again, it's just about building that trust and rapport with the tenants in terms of the timeframes, not promising, yes, we'll get that fixed right now if we have no control over when that's going to be done, and trying to be as realistic as we can, accepting that it's a very challenging situation to be in if a tenant is struggling.
Of course, brilliant. Thank you so much. There's just one more question kind of regarding this boosting your service levels with faster fixes. Everybody who's on today's webinar, don't forget we have got the Q&A button as well, so please do ask if you have any questions at all. So the next question is, how do you track how well an individual team member is performing?
So the managers, we use obviously Fixflo, and we use Reapit as our CRM system. So the managers have dashboards on Reapit, but also they have dashboards on Fixflo, so they can see their own individual performance. But the managers can track the individual performance and the team performance. That data and the way that it's presented, particularly within Fixflo, is really, really good. And actually, I'm going to give a shout out here to Greg Matthews, who's our customer success manager with Fixflo. He was absolutely superb in helping us set it up. There is so many reports, so many data sets that you can have access to. And we were trying to find the most relevant ones. He really helped us with that and setting up the dashboards and the training, which was really, really beneficial for us. We also have stats, which we use in Excel to bring together everything, the Fixflo data called as we have email stats, etc., to see what's going on. But I think it's important just to reflect that all that feeding in, that kind of gives us a narrative. We've got to interpret that and see how that's going to help us to make sure that the team is performing as we want them to perform. We simply didn't have the visibility of a lot of the maintenance related stuff prior to using Fixflo. Again, as I said earlier, it was very much someone coming to us and saying they've got various issues that are outstanding. But now, because we can actually see it feeding into the Fixflo system, we can manipulate that data. We can use it whenever we want. We automate the reports which come in, which is really, really beneficial. And it just means that we can go for any particular issue at any particular time with an individual and say, look, I can see this week's been really busy for you because you've got X outstanding, or I can see there may be a problem here because the response times haven't been as quick as they may have been 3 or 4 weeks ago. We can track that across individuals and across our regions as well, which has been really, really beneficial. And without it, as I said, we were effective, but we're much more effective now by having that data available.
Fantastic. That's lovely to hear. And I'll definitely feed that back to Greg. He'll be really thrilled to hear that. So yeah, thank you for letting us know that. Excellent. Before we move on to the next topic, I do just have a very quick poll for the audience. I'm going to leave that poll open, but we're going to move on to the next topic, which is all to do with increasing efficiency by empowering tenants to self-resolve issues. Now, just to give everybody again a bit of an introduction to this is something that Fixflo does supply. So when occupiers are reporting maintenance issues on the Fixflo site, you can add guidance and advice pop-ups. Now, these are templated by default, but you can customize these. You could also add them where we haven't, and also remove them if you want to. So these are absolutely brilliant in order to help occupiers to self-resolve issues at home. There are 2 main use cases for this. The first is fixing maintenance issues which should not be coming through to you as an agent. Examples of this could be things such as mold or mildew in the bathroom, light bulbs that need replacing, or perhaps batteries and smoke alarms. These issues are actually things occupiers should be fixing at home, and these guidance and advice pop-ups can help to let the occupier know this is something they need to resolve. The second way this can help occupiers is with first time fixes. So, for example, a boiler might not be working, but it could be something where actually the occupier could try a few things to do at home if it is safe and convenient to do so. So an example there could be repressurizing the boiler, something so simple as making sure it's turned on or there's credit in it. Things like that can really make a difference to the occupier being able to resolve the issue on the spot. That obviously reduces the number of issues coming through to you. It helps to save landlords money, and also you have a happy occupier as the issue gets resolved there and then. So these guidance and advice pop-ups, as I say, they're fully customizable. You can add more information, you can add videos, photos, and GIFs. So they can be really, really helpful. So in terms of increasing the efficiency of your agency, Ben, sorry, by empowering tenants to self-resolve issues, do you currently have a way of doing this?
Yes, so we obviously take advantage of the guidance and the pop-ups, and they are certainly beneficial. As you said, they are customizable, which is definitely beneficial because at certain times of the year we will add information into that. We will also potentially look to increase or take away some of the information. We have done that. They're very interactive. We've actually gone through all of the pop-ups and read everything. It definitely does help give the tenants a little bit of confidence when they're seeing something that they can then refer to in their own time. And obviously they can do that in the space of their own home, which is obviously beneficial for them. Or if they have an issue and they happen to be using it on the app as well. I think a really, really big selling point for this, particularly for us, we have a lot of international landlords and tenants. The ability to be able to communicate with it in the various different languages is really, really important. And actually we found that's been really beneficial from some of the feedback we've got from our customers, is that obviously if English isn't their first language and they're able to communicate and understand things that are translated, and then we get it back in English, it really does help us to be able to bridge that communication gap if you're potentially speaking to someone who may be a little bit more intimidated using the phone to talk about particular terminology. Having the access to that information when they want it, I think has been really, really beneficial.
Brilliant. I'm so glad to hear that. So how do you ensure that you get the best out of your pop-ups, and has this had an effect on your agency?
Yeah, so we, like I said earlier, where we try to kind of have preemptive conversations with people because it's easier to deal with a difficult situation before it's actually happened. We do introductory calls to tenants and landlords and introductory emails as well to explain the reporting framework and how to utilize the system. That's made it much easier to preemptively speak about those issues when they occur. And I think it's also encouraged tenants to engage with that system, because obviously sometimes people feel like actually if you're going to go through a reporting system, are you going to get a response? Is it just going to go into the ether? Is anyone going to reply? Well, we have to make sure that firstly, the first time they're using it, we're really all over it, so they can feel there is a trust in doing so, and we engage with them to make sure that they do use that system. We also try to make sure where possible we let the tenants know in advance if an agent's going to be on annual leave, and we can put kind of pop-ups on the system for that. And again, it's just about making sure that if and when a property manager is away, because of the way that Fixflo works, we're able to quite easily allocate or reallocate an issue to someone else, and then they can engage through the comments section and they can pick it up. So to make sure that the tenants do feel comfortable using it, we have to make sure that we're engaging with that as much as we can. That took some getting used to at the start, because obviously it's a different system that we're using. But I think a lot of our property managers now are really on board with it. They see the benefit of the access and the manipulability of the information they've got, which is really beneficial.
Brilliant. I mean, yes, it's definitely a process you have to embed into your business. It's not just a one-time
Yeah.
conversation. I completely agree with that. So I'm really glad to hear you're doing that, and I'm glad to hear it's having such an amazing effect. We just have one final question. I just wanted to quickly check the poll. So the final question, and Ben, you may feel like you're repeating yourself. Feel free to say if you feel like you've already answered this, but what instructions have you given to ensure that your pop-ups are as effective as possible?
Yeah, so expanding on the point previously, I think adding the information, contact information, to make sure the query gets to the right person is very helpful. I think I referenced at certain times of the year, we amend the pop-ups to give specific information on what to do if we have particular issues. So if our offices are closed for any particular reason, we can make sure that we're updating people. So actually, they know that if they're not going to get a response within a certain time frame, that they'll potentially go to an out of hours service. I know that we started using Help Me Fix and Prop Call through an integration with Fixflo that's been significantly helpful for us, particularly over the last winter period. Where we have landlords who have had communication issues previously, we've kind of drawn their attention to the fact that they can track actually through the Fixflo system how the job is going. So that gives a little bit more transparency and confidence in what's going on. That's definitely been beneficial. I think tenants are far more tech savvy and used to using the system and engaging with it more so than landlords we found. So very much with landlords, again, it's just about buying into that trust process. Rather than sending an email, if they feel they're reporting something through the system, they get a comment back, which can come in an email format to prompt them to go to the system anyway. So again, it's just making sure they feel reassured, and also just making sure that as legislation changes over time, or if there's a particular issue, for example, a year ago, we had a lot of issues in our Surrey area with storms, fences kind of getting blown down, etc. So we'll go on and just try and maybe give some information in relation to fences and storms, etc., which may not be something that's prevalent generally because it doesn't come up that often. But we can use the kind of cyclical element of issues that we track and then go into that system and make some amendments, which I think has helped us. We're still learning on that process. We still forget to do that every now and again and know that it's available, but it certainly does help to kind of preempt some of those issues.
That sounds brilliant. Thank you so much, Ben. That's been absolutely fantastic. That's all the questions I have. A question has come in on the Q&A, so I'm going to have a look at that in a moment. Before I do, I just want to say thank you again to everyone who answered the poll. This is the only poll that we have for this webinar, which is coming to an end relatively soon anyway. So I'm going to close this poll now. 40% of you are measuring how long it takes you to fix repairs, which is brilliant. If anybody who answered no is using Fixflo, just to let you know, you do have something called an insights dashboard if you are using the essential package, professional package, or the manager package. It is available from within your system on the dashboard. You simply need to select the insights dashboard and you will be able to start tracking these metrics. So that should be helping you. And as Ben's mentioned, there's also a number of reports to help you as well. Just to let everybody know as well, on Fixflo, we do have a need help widget. So when you are logged in, just to show you all very quickly. So the Insights dashboard is available from here by selecting Insights dashboard there. And if you do need any help at all, there is a need help widget just here. Just to let you know, this is where you can search for help. We do have a number of articles and videos available from here. And you can also contact support if you cannot find the answer through the help site there. For anybody as well who is using Fixflo and wants to amend the guidance and advice pop-ups and you're not sure how to, we do have Fixflo Academy as well. This is completely free of charge and there is a 30-minute course called Customizing the Occupier Side of Fixflo. This is available for any agent who uses Fixflo and you can very easily and quickly, within the half-an-hour time frame, see how to do that. It's all self-learning as well. You do not need to complete the course in one sitting. Also, please do save the date on the 27th of February at 11 AM. We will be having another webinar, and this is going to be focused on agents, how to improve out of hours and emergency services. We have got 2 agents joining me on that date. So if you would like to come, please scan the QR code now. You can sign up. I will also be sending you the link to sign up to this by the end of play tomorrow, along with this recording and also that all-important report, which was sent out on the 25th of January for anybody who hasn't had a chance yet to have a look at that. So now what we're going to do is go through the Q&A. I would encourage everybody to stay for the Q&A because it could be something where a question someone else has is something that actually you'd really like the answer on as well. 2 questions have come in, so I'm going to have a look at those now. If you are, however, leaving us now, I just wanted to say a big thank you for joining us this morning. As I said, there will be that very quick feedback survey. It's just got 3 questions on there. I'd really appreciate if you could just take a minute of your time just to let us know how we got on today. I would love to hear your feedback. And as I say, please do be honest. It's absolutely invaluable to hear from people that do come to these webinars. I'd like to see what you'd like to see moving forward, how we can make them better, what went well for you. Please do let me know. So the first question is from David Gibb. David, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Is there ability to automate the reports in Fixflo so that it downloads files daily or weekly, for example? So I will answer this question. Yes, there is, David. So when you're logged into Fixflo, so this is a Fixflo specific question for anybody who hasn't yet got Fixflo. So this is what Fixflo looks like when you log in as an agent. You've got your reports button just here on your left-hand menu sidebar. And when you click on reports, you come through to all of the reports we have available. These reports are across kind of 3 pages. So when you get to the bottom, there are more available for anyone that misses this here. And what you can do is you can click into any of these reports. So if there is one you would like to be sent to you on a scheduled basis, you can simply click into the report like this. Click here on more options, and here you can get it sent to yourself, David. So as you can see, you can have it once a week, twice a week, every day, once a month. It is completely up to you. You can select what time it will come out as well, and you can select kind of who it goes to as well. So do please have a look at that. Select the reports you want, click on more options as I just showed you, and then you can send it out to yourself as often as you would like. I do hope that helps.
Yeah, just to add on that, David,
Yeah.
I mean, we have, I think, 6 weekly reports that come out. They normally come out, we kind of schedule them for Sunday morning. And then for some of us, we like to kind of formulate the kind of data into our then stats deck on the evening, so that when we get into the Monday, we can kind of then see what's actually happened for the previous week and then look at anything we want to forecast for the following week. And then we do have the occasional ones which run daily as well. So yeah, there's loads of reports out there. It took us a while to play around with them. Greg, as I gave a shout out to earlier, helped us massively. So if you have a Greg equivalent, or even Greg, I would certainly reach out to them.
Perfect. Yes, oh, David, you're very welcome. Thank you so much. And thank you as well, Ben, for jumping in there. It's great to hear kind of your side of that as well, as you are a customer who does use Fixflo and does use the reports a lot. If you do not have a Greg equivalent, or you don't have a Greg, then please do click here on need help. There is a section here where you can search for help on reporting. Unfortunately, we don't have a course on reporting on Fixflo Academy at the moment. It is something I'm hoping to bring in later this year, but you can also contact support if you really are struggling as well. So yeah. Perfect. We have one more question in. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us this morning. How do you use the language translation? So the language option is for occupiers. So if I just log out, oh, sorry, don't go to Fixflo Academy. If I just log out now as an agent, it will bring me through to my occupier side of the system. Now, by default, this will always show in English. But if you do have any occupiers where English is their second language, or they'd rather report the maintenance issue in another language, then there is a language tool which sits on the top left-hand corner of the site just here. By selecting English UK, they can see all of the other languages which appear here. There are over 40 which are available. If, for example, they wanted to report the maintenance issue in, say, French, they could click here on French, and the entire system will then pull into French for them. This will include the guidance and advice pop-ups, which we did speak about. And what they can then do is report the maintenance issue in that language, and absolutely everything will get translated back into English for you. So this can really, really help with any language barriers that you may be facing. This is simply for the occupier side of the system alone. I hope that makes sense. Thank you so much for your question. One more question that has come in. Ben mentioned reporting in Repit for Fixflo. Do you have any more information on how we can get those set up? Yep, so if you are using Repit, it is one of our better kind of integrations. It does mean that the data will pull from Repit into Fixflo, for example, your contractor data, your landlord data, your occupier data, etc., and your properties. So all of that will be kept within Repit. That will then pull through to Fixflo. So your source of truth essentially will sit in Repit, and all maintenance issues will be reported through Fixflo and resolved within Fixflo. And then when they are resolved within Fixflo, it will actually update in Repit as well. Closed issues will include like the invoice, the costs, etc. So it is a really, really good integration. If you would like to find out more about Repit, you have asked this question anonymously, please do let me know who you are, and what I can do is I can send you some information. Getting set up is really, really easy. So please let me know who you are. I'd be really, really happy to send that over to you. Ben, do you have anything to add on the Repit integration?
No, yeah, as I said, yes, I think it's relatively seamless. It's been definitely beneficial for us, and yeah, I would recommend if you're using it to certainly explore those options.
Perfect. One final question regarding the languages. When they send us a message, can they do that in their language, and does it translate into English for us? So the whole translation only works on the kind of occupier side when they are reporting the maintenance issue. If an occupier does log into Fixflo to send comments, unfortunately that is all in English. What I can do is I can raise that with the development team and let them know, but all messages sent in comments must be sent in English. If they were to send it over to you in a different language, you can always use kind of Google Translate for that. But yes, I will raise that, no problem at all. Thank you so much, Jemima. I will.
Just one thing to add on that. Obviously,
Mm.
when speaking to tenants who are experiencing issues, obviously in a country that they may have just come to and not familiar with a particular system, by drawing their attention to the information that's provided in the pop-ups in their language of choice will give them the confidence to try to do things which they wouldn't necessarily have confidence in you doing if you were trying to translate to them in English. So as a resource point, it really is beneficial for, I mean, we have a lot of, for example, Chinese students who come over, and for them to be able to look and take their time rather than trying to kind of compute what's being said to them over the phone with certain terminology is really is beneficial for them.
Brilliant. Ben, big thank you to coming on this webinar this morning. It's been a real pleasure having you here. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Pleasure was all mine.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. It's been a real pleasure going through those questions. I do hope you found it valuable. And as I say, we will send the recording by the end of play tomorrow, along with the report as well. And the person who asked about Repit, I'm still not quite sure who you are. So if you could please just very quickly in the Q&A, let me know who you are. I'd be really happy to send you that information about Repit. Just at the moment, I'm not quite sure who to send it to. So I will just stay online if you still are there to do that. But thank you, everybody else. If you could please send me the feedback through the survey, that would be brilliant. Have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.